Welcome to the 47th session of Visual Programming. So in today's session, we will be learning about the Visual C++ components. At the end of the session, the students will know what are the VC++ components and how the resources are used in the Visual C++. So now let us know what a resource is. A resource is a text file that allows the compiler to manage objects such as pictures, sounds, mouse cursors, dialog boxes, etc. So a resource is mainly a text file which has the pictures, sounds, mouse cursors, dialog boxes. Visual C++ makes creating a resource file particularly easy by providing the necessary tools in the same environment. Resources are used to program, meaning you usually do not have to use an external application to create or configure a resource file. Although an application can use various resources that behave independently of each other, these resources are grouped into a text file that has the .rc or .rct extension. So example, it include if you want to use any of the resources, this is the thing you have to include, #include resource.h. This file manually and fill out necessary parts, but it is advantageous to create the file using VC++. To do this, you have to add or create one resource at a time when designing it. After saving a resource, it is automatically added to the resource file, that is with the extension .rc file. To make your resource recognizable to the other files of the program, you must also create a header file usually called as resource.h. Any header file will be with extension .h. This header file must provide a constant integer that identifies each resource and makes it available to any part that needs it. This also means that if not all your resources will be represented by an identifier. So now let us see how to add a resource dialog box. Okay, so the steps are given. You can also follow it in your Visual C++ application. So let's see how to add a resource dialog box. The add resource dialog box provides an extensive list of resources to accommodate almost any need. Still, if you do not see a resource you need and know you can use it, you can add it manually to the .rc file. So this is what you are seeing on the screen is the adding a resource dialog box window. Okay, so you can just click on the thing and create a new resource dialog box. So now let's see how to convert a resource identifier. An identifier is a constant integer whose name usually starts with ID. In Windows 32 programming, you usually can use the name of a resource as a string. In MFC, that is in Microsoft Foundation Classes application, resources are usually referred to by their identifier. To make an identifier name recognizable to a Microsoft Foundation class, you use a macro called as make int resource. Its syntax is, you can just read the syntax here. This macro takes the identifier of the resource and returns a string that is given to the function that called it. In the strict sense, after creating the resource file, it must be compiled to create a new file that has the extension .res. In Visual C++, automatically it compiles the file and links it to the application. So let's see how to create an application with C++. So start the Microsoft Visual Studio or VC++. Create a new 32. Click on the Windows 32 project named resources. You can just see here Win32 has been selected. Now in step 3, click on the OK and specify the Windows application as an empty project. Okay, so just select the Windows application under the application type. Okay, and click on the empty project. Then click on the finish button. In the Solution Explorer resource view or class view, right click the resources node and click the properties. Okay, you can just see the resource property page here. in the sixth step, specify that you want to use MFC as a shared link library, that is the DLL, for your application, and then click on the OK. And then add a new item as a C++ file and name it exercise. Change its content as follows. So this is an example you are seeing here. You can try this code. Thank you.